We're back in the Levine Broadcast Center, the Week 9 edition of Football Friday with Tigers head coach Bob Surace. I'm Cody Cruciel. Coach, let's start by going back to this past weekend. Final score aside, talk about that experience at Yankee Stadium, both on game day and the events around the game.
Yeah, it was amazing, I think, for everybody, but, you know, the people on the field during the game, and it felt like a bowl, right? It felt like a bowl game experience and just events. It's a great venue. The number of people that came back and sacrificed their weekend for Princeton football at our university, it was truly an event.
Let's talk about a couple of the guys who made an impact. Carson Bobo, I know he had a fumble and kind of a questionable call. 8 catches, 69 yards. Someone who just as sort of an outsider and a fan looking in, I don't know if he was on a lot of people's radar coming into the season because he didn't play a snap for you guys last year. He's really added another dimension to your offense.
Yeah, he really had he came on during the year as a freshman, and then he had a terrific offseason. Spring ball, he started to emerge as somebody that was going to be a weapon for us during the year, and he's played very well.
Another player we haven't necessarily talked a lot about, Tavish Rice, your senior kicker. Field position, we saw it was important this past Saturday. It's been important all season. 79% of his kickoffs have gone for touchbacks. The rest of the Ivy League, the other 7 kickers combined, are a shade under 40%. How important is it to have that kind of weapon and to take a big part of special teams for your opponent out of the game?
Yeah, he's leading the country in touchbacks, and it's really good. I mean, he's strong. He's big. Most kickers don't have his size and strength.
Looks like a linebacker.
Yeah, he does, and that's how he kicks. He kicks with explosion, and he's physical. Onto the football.
Your opponent this weekend, a lot was made of last week's 7-0 and 7-0. This week you have 2 teams that are a game back with 2 weeks to go, so still an important game this week. Let's go back to last year, that sort of shootout. That had to be one of the stranger games you've coached.
Yeah, you blink and we were up 21-0, and the game settled in after that into, as you said, a shootout in terms of that, and they returned pretty much their entire offense. The people you saw last year, different quarterback. Rawlings was hurt last year as a freshman. O'Connor came in and had a heck of a game against us. But, these guys have been playing a lot of football for a long time for them.
Offensively, what makes them the most dangerous? Is it Rawlings at quarterback? Is it the depth in the backfield? Is it those 2 wide receivers? What sort of scares you the most when you prep for this game?
Well, it's their balance. Rawlings is truly a dual-threat quarterback. He's an outstanding athlete, but he can really throw the football, and they throw the football down the field. Their receivers are both deep threats. They execute the intermediate routes exceptionally well. Dudak's playing like he did as a freshman. He was hurt last year. Their offensive line, some of those guys have started for 4 years. It's a big, strong line, and it shows. That's why they're putting up points.
So much build-up to that Yankee Stadium game last weekend. 2 weeks left to play, still in the hunt for the Ivy title. How has the team responded, and what's been the message from the coaching staff this week?
Yeah, keep doing what we've been doing. They come out, it's 6 o'clock on Sunday when we go to dinner. Whether you win, lose, whatever, you move on to the next opponent, and that's what our guys do. And we come out on a Tuesday, and our guys are enthusiastic. It's freezing cold, so they are going to run. Nobody's going to stand still. So probably the best run day of our season because everybody was moving on that day.
Senior Day coming up Saturday. Talk about this senior class just as a group. This is a class that's been part of a couple of Ivy League titles, and they play their final home game Saturday.
Yeah, the biggest thing's their leadership. The second the season ended last year, those guys did the work. And they got the other guys to understand the culture and the work that goes into being a successful team, the preparation that goes in, week out, and they've been outstanding leaders.